Welcome to BizTechTalk. I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional.
And I'm Mel West, your business advisor. Thank you for joining us today and every Tuesday from noon to 1 for BizTechTalk, where we are hosting discussions with local and national business leaders.
Throughout our show, we talk to a variety of high-tech professionals and business professionals about the latest technology and business trends which are happening today and coming tomorrow. And today, we've got some things that are interesting with geofencing. But before we get on to geofencing and talk about that, we've got to say thanks to Tom Pearson for last week joining us and talking about growing community and building businesses right here in our own area, Tacoma Pierce County Chamber.
And then continuing that discussion at our BizTechTalk Executive Forum. And thanks for the guests that come out and joined us.
We had a good time.
Tuesday night to continue that discussion and talk a little bit more about what's happening here in Pierce County and about some of the education opportunities that they're looking for to grow the profits and build the communities.
Yeah, I think that we're doing some really cool stuff that here at the Chamber. They've changed over a lot of things in their processes, and they're becoming more of a member-focused organization, not so much event-focused, and building the membership and also building the value for the membership. And I think that's important for everybody to understand. So you do get a lot of value. I know that you and I both are members, and I think that I get a lot out of that, and I think you do too as well, don't you?
Oh, most definitely. And, and they're adding staff as well. So they're growing jobs in the community, just like they preach. They're doing it right there at the Tacoma Chamber.
Yeah, and we got to hear a lot about the advocacy for the Chamber when they went out to Washington, D.C. to talk about what it is that they can do, the legislature can do for Tacoma Pierce County and our region and so forth. And I guess it was one of the best legislative sessions that they've ever come back with in the recent past.
Yeah, so that's really fantastic. And so thanks again for Tom for joining us, talking about the Chamber. Darrel, we always talk about helping veterans find jobs and seeking out veteran-owned businesses. And, this next Monday, we're coming up on Memorial Day, and it's an opportunity for us to remember the patriotic heroes that sacrificed their lives to give us our freedom.
I know I've got a few of my family as well, and we always think about them on Veterans Day and Memorial Day, so thanks for bringing that up, Mel. I sure do appreciate that. And one of the things that we talk about hiring veterans and so forth. This last week, I had an opportunity to go out to JBLM with the National Guard, and they had a boss lift. It's a place where it's a time when they take you out on a tour of, Joint Base Lewis McChord. Got to see all the different things that the soldiers do and what they do to become productive members of society when they leave. So building roads, we get to build buildings and truck driving and so forth. And in the end, we got to shoot some M16.
I was going to say, didn't you shoot some guns out there as well?
Yeah, we did. I had a great grouping. I was really kind of depressed that I was a little bit off, but I had a real tight thing. About the palm of my hand. I put 30 shots in, and so I felt really good about that, but it wasn't good enough to make the top 5. So I'm telling you, there were a few good folks out there that knew how to put a bullet in the right place. So,
well, that's always important, and helping our military come back and be successful and find jobs. It's always important. So.
Yeah, there was a great group of people out there that were supporting the military from all up and down the I-5 corridor. So, yeah, really kudos go out to those folks for coming out there, supporting the military, learning what it is that they can do to help get our veterans employed back in the workforce once they get out of the service and they've done their time for the country. Fantastic. So, as always, you can always look for those businesses that are owned by veterans and disabled veterans and so forth to help them. And I think you go to the Department of Veterans Affairs and the state of Washington has a list. So go there and look for veteran-owned businesses. And if you're thinking about having a service or a product or anything like that, go to those folks and see if they can actually earn your business, because that's an opportunity that you won't be sorry for. They've earned the right to earn your business, I believe.
Most definitely, and that's just another way that we can support them. There's a lot of job fairs coming around and stuff, but if you think you have a need and you're looking for some expertise and just somebody that can fit in because of the different diversity and skill sets that the military brings, seek out somebody that's a veteran.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing about veterans is, they get a lot of training and they don't get, they have a task to do, and sometimes they just don't get a lot of resources to do that. So they have to accomplish that with what they have at hand, and so they have, politely said, the ability to get stuff done. So I appreciate that. And today, we're going to have one of our guests is a retired U.S. Coast Guard Chief of Port Security. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So I was proud to hear that.
So, Darrel, why don't we go ahead and take a break, pay a few bills, and get some stuff done.
Okay, I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional.
And I'm Mel West, your business advisor. We'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to BizTechTalk on Clay 1180.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
Hi, Georgia. I heard the pipes burst in your office and you have to rebuild everything. Are you able to take care of business?
Bob, the flood was a minor hiccup. We are rebuilding, but thanks to our partnership with MyNetworkCompany.com and their office in an Icon Cloud solution, we work from anywhere at any time. With access to all of our applications and customer data, I never have to worry about expensive backups, hardware, or complicated servers. We are more productive now than ever. Plus, we turned our capital IT purchases into monthly operating expenses with a worry-free IT guarantee in the process. I recommend you call MyNetworkCompany.com today.
Few things say more about your business than the quality of the photos in your ads and on your website. Corporate photographer Rick Doms specializes in custom photography for discriminating corporations around the world and right here in Tacoma. Rick's photos have graced the pages of Forbes, Fortune, Barron's, the Wall Street Journal, and the marketing materials of a host of great American companies. Companies like yours. See what Rick Doms photography can do for your business on the web at rickdoms.com. RICKDAHMS.com.
AimBiz.com brings you the life of a business website. The majority of business websites can't be found by search engines, so their owners lose customers and money. An AIM Business website wins new customers on Google and Facebook. Imagine your website with great content management, an integrated blog, clean designs, and clear messages. To top it off, at AimBiz.com, you get a free website design mock-up before you ever spend a dime. For more information, go to AimBiz.com. That's AIMBIZ.com.
Hey, welcome back to BizTechTalk. I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional with
Mel West, your business advisor.
Hey, we're here every Tuesday from noon to 1. Don't forget to visit us at biztechtalk.net. Listen to our shows, download our podcast, and email us with your comments or suggestions at info@biztechtalk.net. Today, we're talking about geofencing. Just getting started in this conversation, and we wanted to bring on a couple of folks from a couple of different organizations. So, Mel?
Well, first, let's go ahead and introduce Jim Jacobs. He's the TBI, or Telecom Brokerage, Inc. It's a partner IQ Product Specialist. Basically, what that is it's their mobile device management, and that falls right into what we're going to be talking today here is geofencing. And his job is focused on daily presentations and conference calls, educating our TBI's partners on the benefits of MDM, and he's going to fill us in on
what
MDM means, and specifically assisting the partners with device management and the different security solutions. He's got 10 years of experience in logistics, so that's once again falls right into this whole geofencing. And in 2011, he made the move over to Chicago to be based with TBI there.
Hey, so he was joining Boeing way over there, right?
Yeah, and so, he attended Harper College and the University of Illinois at Chicago, majoring in architecture. So welcome, Jim. Thanks for joining us, and start off by telling us what MDM is.
Sure. Thank you, gentlemen, for the time. MDM is obviously short for Mobile Device Management. So
we should have all knew that.
All right, but we don't use acronyms here, so we want to leave that to the experts.
Perfect. My world is filled with acronyms. So.
Okay, so mobile device management. How did you get into that? And tell us a little bit about what this is all about.
Sure. So mobile device management is a large umbrella term used for when you're talking about tracking devices, minutes, and their data usage, and geofencing, which is what we'll be talking about today, and just really managing your actual cellular or data-filled device. Every company nowadays has either a business phone or some sort of tablet that they may use out in the marketplace for their transaction.
So in other words, you guys are, no matter what the carrier, whether that's AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, or any of those others, you're managing either a single one or multiple ones so that you can keep track of what's happening on all those devices without having to go to multiple places, and you help the customer deal with that. Is that about right?
That's absolutely correct. We all know how hard it can be every once in a while to track just our personal cell phones and the minutes if we go over. Well, on a corporation or enterprise level, when a company has 10,000 devices, it's a little bit more difficult.
Oh, I can understand that. It could be pretty costly pretty quick, couldn't it?
Correct.
So now, Jim, TBI is a partner of mynetworkcompany.com. Is that correct? And what services do you guys provide more on this mobile side?
Correct. So just to recap, you're absolutely right. MyNetworkCompany.com is absolutely a partner of ours, where you can find the geo-fencing applications and things of that nature. Now, TBI as a whole, we are a master agency. So what that is, I guess you could say in the telecom world, is we assist agents out in the field with different pricing and terms and contracts for the products that they're providing for their customers. When I say products and contracts and things of that nature, so just for an example, an agent can come to us and say, I have a customer over here in California, and they need 100 different BlackBerry devices, and they need internet at these 3 locations. Well, we would go ahead and provide all the contracts and the pricing and things that they would need to give to the customer and let them make a decision from there.
Now, who helps them understand their bills and what they're actually getting?
Sure. So the agent would explain to the customer what is actually being provided. TBI could go in if needed and do some assistance in kind of training the customer on what they're getting, what their capabilities will be with those new services and things like that.
So, and you don't just deal with the 10,000 people, units, and stuff like that. We're talking all the way down to the small business and so forth, because that's where 80% of all businesses are, and we have to make sure that they understand that this is something that you offer as well, right?
Absolutely. I believe the smallest account that I work with is two cell phone devices. So that's, like you said, fits right into that 80%.
Fantastic.
So now, what's the benefit to a company to work with through a partnership with you?
Sure. If I personally walked into a Sprint store, Sprint would sell me a cell phone. Not a bad thing. They're going to give me their best price. If an agent comes or a customer comes to TBI, for example, we're going to give them about 5 different quotes from every carrier that we work with or that we partner with. So that customer will be able to say, I live in California in this county. This product is going to be best for my area. I'm going to have the best service coming from these different carriers, and then make a decision off of that. So it's a little bit more options, you could say.
So this is really like going to a buffet. So if you got different locations throughout the United States or throughout the world, then businesses can select based on what their needs are.
Absolutely. I like when you said buffet. That's a perfect example.
Oh, and also the fact that, sometimes coverage isn't the same in other areas, so they can use that buffet, and each of the locations can choose a different item from that buffet and still be managed from the same location, right?
Correct.
So which is unique from going, no, you can't do that at Sprint or one specific carrier alone across all different things, even though they'd like you to believe that.
So that's very interesting, and it kind of jumps us right into this mobile management, device management, and we are specifically here to talk about geofencing today. So what is geofencing?
Well, before you get into what is, let's bring on Mike. Gough, and Mike Gough is the Vice President of Channel Sales for North America for a company called 10 and 2, who does geofencing, creates geofencing applications that are pretty innovative. And Mike is as we talked about earlier, a retired Coast Guard Chief of Port Security. So excellent individual already because he served our country, so we can appreciate that. He's also a founding member of a mobility company. He's designed PBXs. He's done sales across North America, South America, and pretty much globally speaking. He's been all over the globe with different types of telecommunications from design, implementation, and so forth. So he's started out his career as an electrical engineer, designing central offices, and worked his way up throughout to become the vice president of channel sales for North America for 10 and 2. Now he currently resides in Charlottesville, Virginia, and seems to love where he's at. That's what's that, a right coast thing or something? I don't know. But hey, we can't begrudge him the fact that he likes Virginia because we're Pacific Northwesterners and we like it up here.
The heat and the humidity, or the doom and gloom of rain, huh?
Oh yeah, you get one or the other, right, Mike? Hey, Mike, thanks for joining us.
Darrel, Mel, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So when it comes to geofencing, since you're going to be the guy that has a geofencing application, I thought it'd be appropriate to have you answer that question. What is geofencing? And break it down.
Geofencing is a virtual perimeter around a real-world geographic area. Could be an area drawn by GPS technology or an area drawn by RFID technology, two different technologies for defining a perimeter.
So what's RFID?
Radio frequency identification. You might draw a perimeter around an RFID application like a warehouse so that you could say, hey, these only the warehouse personnel are allowed in there. And that would be a geofence around a warehouse. Or a SCIF, like in the military, it's a sensitive compartmentalized information facility. Like, the best known one is probably the Situation Room in the White House is a SCIF.
Okay, that's a specialty compact information facility, right?
Right, so that would be inside of a building. So that's a geofence inside a building. You could also draw a geofence in a perimeter around a school, a truck route, if you wanted to keep your employees in the route that they were serving your business, or a military installation, as an example.
So what's the significance of drawing this fence that you're talking about?
Well, there's triggers that are set based on the application that if you're walking onto the military installation, for example, they don't want the cameras to operate. So you could shut down the camera on the mobile device so that the cameras wouldn't work. That
would be in the cameras that you control, not just any camera that walks on the base, right?
That's right. That's the one inside the mobile device.
Okay. So that would be one of those things where, okay, well, anybody here, it's a sensitive area. We don't want pictures taken of that. So if you're a member of this organization, we shut those cameras off the minute you walk in this area, this perimeter.
That's correct.
And there's a lot of other things that are like that as well, I understand, right?
Yeah, if a school child was walking onto a school facility, the big problem they have with mobile devices is the learning distractions that they cause. So you might shut down certain apps so that they couldn't use texting or emailing or surfing while they were on school property to keep them more focused.
Now, how does that happen, though, if they don't own the devices?
No, you can. The school would have to force the download to the device.
So, in other words, they'd have to register their phones if they come on.
That's correct. That's correct. It would be a policy implementation.
Okay, well, so geofencing is actually just drawing a line around something using some kind of technology that gives you the opportunity to limit features or something like that, right?
That's one example, yes. And then once you exited the geofence, there would be an exit trigger that allowed those features to work again.
But what about market business? How's this going to help business? What can a business do to use geofencing to help them? I mean, we're talking about limiting features here. What can we do that brings revenue in? What does geofencing do for that?
There are mobile marketing companies that use the fence around the mall as an example to trigger an event. Not to get into too many details, but the mobile marketing companies, if you like or follow something on Twitter, or you're researching a golf club, as an example, or a particular set of golf clubs, when you walk into the mall, it knows you walked into the mall. It also knows you've been Twittering or researching a particular golf club. If the store that was participating in this particular mobile marketing campaign knew you walked into the store, they could send you a coupon for that particular club.
Well, that's interesting. It's talking about marketing. Well, maybe this is a good place to take a break, and let's go ahead, and when we come back, we'll pick up on marketing and how they'd actually do that.
Oh, fantastic. I'm Darrel Bowman, and I'm your IT professional here at Clay Radio, and
this is Mel West, your business advisor, and we'll be right back.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
In today's economy, doing more with less has become the standard. Feeling overwhelmed or out of control does not have to be part of that standard. If you are looking for improved profitability and better teamwork, West Business Concepts' expertise in sales, organizational development, and finance offers real-world solutions today. West Business Concepts helps you develop clarity and focus on who matters most. Gain an edge over your competition. Visit westbusinessconcepts.com today. That's westbusinessconcepts.com.
Tacoma's Waterfront, a unique local asset providing recreational opportunities, jobs to support the local economy, and a safe haven for marine wildlife. The Tacoma Waterfront Association is dedicated to promoting Tacoma's waterfront. Join the TWA at its popular monthly meeting to learn more about Tacoma's waterfront and how you can be a part of making it great. Join the TWA on the second Wednesday of each month from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Center for Urban Waters to be a part of the community strength that's making a difference for Tacoma's greatest asset. It's waterfront. For more info, visit TacomaWaterfrontAssociation.org. That's TacomaWaterfrontAssociation.org.
In Pierce County, 17% of residents are food insecure. That's 1 in 6 people who are unsure where their next meal is coming from. Someone you know is going hungry. What can you do about it? Help support Fish Food Banks of Pierce County. For every dollar received, Fish's 8 food bank locations can distribute $7 worth of food to families in need. To learn more about stopping hunger here in Pierce County, go to fishfoodbanks.org. That's fishfoodbanks.org.
hey, welcome back to BizTechTalk. I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional.
And I'm Mel West, your business advisor.
Hey, we're here every Tuesday, noon to 1 at BizTechTalk, and today we are talking to Michael Gough with 10 and 2 and
Jim Jacobs from TBI, and we were talking about marketing
and geofencing.
Let's just pick up kind of there and talk about maybe some more of the legalities of going to the mall. And is this a Big Brother type of thing, or what is?
Yeah, when you walk in there and you found that all of a sudden you're getting coupons and they're coming out of nowhere.
Now I've got a new set of golf clubs flying at me.
Well, if they're new, that'd be awesome.
Especially if they end up in your trunk.
Okay, so anyway, you were saying, Mike.
If you follow something or like something online and then you start researching through that following or Twitter on a particular model or a golf club, it's something that you have an interest in, and so the mobile marketing companies feel that because you have initiated your interest in the product, that you are looking for more information on it. So if I was interested in a set of golf clubs, then I would want a coupon for it.
So in other words, you're explicitly saying, I'm giving you permission.
That's correct.
So because of that, can people see your location at all the time? Or are you anonymous, or are you just always available online?
No, you're anonymous until you cross a threshold. It kind of depends. If you are a driver for a FedEx and the FedEx company is monitoring your location because the efficiency of routes or that sort of thing, that's certainly legal, and they would know your exact location because the company chooses to deploy that application. But just because you walk around with a cell phone, it doesn't monitor your location now.
Now, can a company sell my location to other companies or institutions?
The laws on those sorts of things are a bit fuzzy, so it's difficult to answer. But since they don't own it, they can't sell it. That's the current interpretation.
So that means if a company, if you own your own phone and you're working for a company,
correct.
they can't really monitor your phone because you own it, not them.
That's correct.
So now, what are the benefits then to a company for geofencing?
Well, for parents, it's kind of easy to see that you can keep track of where your kids are from a safety perspective. For employers, it's so that they can keep track of their employees, sometimes for safety purposes, but also for helping to improve efficiencies in routes and those kind of things, run statistics on the for insurance premiums and those kind of things. But it's also to...
Oh,
are you there?
I guess I don't know if we lost him or anything like that.
No,
we? Okay.
I'm still here. There's
Okay.
people blowing outside my office. I apologize.
Okay. So you were so if you're so you were just saying what?
Well, if a company where it would really benefit a company is if a geofence was broken. Let's say I had responsibility for Virginia and North Carolina, and I went outside of North Carolina, but my company was paying for services, voice, data, text services, that you could limit the those features so that they were only turned on when you were in Virginia and North Carolina, so that the company didn't bear any expense if you were outside of those states.
So what kind of other applications that are out there available today from TBI and other places that companies can look at and say, oh, this is what I can put on? Because, hey, there's an app for that, right?
Right.
What kind of apps are there for that? Well, I don't know, anything geofencing type apps. We're looking for what kind of apps are out there that are geofencing apps.
I mean, from a mobile device management standpoint, if a hospital tablet leaves the hospital grounds, the administrator could receive a notification so that the device could be disabled or an alarm could be set. For fleet management, if a truck driver breaks a route, the dispatcher receives an alert. Kind of the same technology can monitor the accelerometer in a GPS so that you know when a driver goes over a threshold speed so that you could shut down texting and driving, as an example. That's what our app does.
Oh, tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah. Tell us a little bit about that. You guys got some smart driving solutions. What does that look like?
Our company is a anti-distracted driving company, and our mission is to help prevent the epidemic of texting and driving, email and driving, Facebook and driving, Twittering and driving, whatever you want to call it. It's certainly distracted driving. And we have two products. One is BizTech, downloads over the air to a cell phone. No hardware is required. It ensures that drivers are compliant with the new DOT, the Department of Transportation laws that went into effect in January of this year. These laws fine individual drivers $2,750 if they're caught doing anything but a Bluetooth answer.
Now, is that in just Virginia, or is that across the United States you're talking about?
No, it's every interstate highway in the United States, and it applies to everybody that has a commercial driver's license.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter if your state has banned texting and driving or not. This is a national ruling by the Department of Transportation.
Well, I appreciate that ruling, so forth. Now I just got to follow it.
Right.
So, fortunately for me, I'm not a commercial driver, but I do know that it's a wise idea. We have passed that law in our state, and this is a way for your company to be protected. So, tell us a little bit how that works.
If you were the company and these were your drivers out there, you would be liable if that driver was caught doing anything but a one-button answer. You would be liable for an $11,000 fine, and that's just a fine from the United States. Coca-Cola was just fined and lost a $24 million case in Texas. $24 million.
And what was that all about?
The driver was using a headset, so he was, in their mind, compliant with their policy, but the jury found that he was distracted while he was driving his Coca-Cola truck and ran into another car.
Oh, and there's beyond just the $24 million lawsuit that Coca-Cola's paying, there's some huge expenses related to distracted driving. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those costs?
Well, we're talking to insurance companies and doing studies that look at distracted driving is 23 times more dangerous. You're 23 times more at risk to getting into an accident than you are just driving down the road. As a comparison, a drunk driver is only 8 times more at risk of getting into an accident. So texting and driving is 3 times worse than drunk driving, but we don't have any compliance laws written around it. These things are impossible to enforce to the employers. Getting back to your question, what our application does is it forces their drivers so that they cannot text and drive, so that they're not liable for these ridiculous lawsuits.
Now, how would that work? I mean, what do you do to make that work? I mean, come on. I mean, you can stop texting right there. How does that happen?
Well, once you cross over a threshold speed, ours defaults at 12 miles an hour, it shuts the phone. Well, it doesn't shut the phone down. It creates a barrier between the user and the text messages, the emails, the Twitters. So your only options on the screen are to make an emergency call or say you're a passenger. Our application differentiates between a passenger and a driver, which makes it a little bit unique.
Now, how can that happen? How can you tell if I'm sitting in the driver's seat
yeah,
versus
really.
the passenger seat?
That's a lot of
or sitting in the middle seat. How is it going to know?
Yeah, or in the back seat, whatever. Come on.
We designed it so that if I were on a train or in a taxi, I would want to be able to text while I was in a moving situation. So we designed what we call an attention verification test, where letters are randomly flashed on the screen at random times. There are 4 of them that you have to enter, and it takes 5 or 6 seconds of complete focus on your phone to enter the letters, and you can't do it if you're driving.
Now, what about? I mean, a lot of these kids. I mean, they can type and
faster
do
on their phone than they can on a typewriter.
So how does that work? I mean, the younger generations. I mean, they're able to navigate through this and pretty quickly.
You mean bypass the passenger driver test if they were driving?
They have thumbs of speed.
Well, there's two options. The parent could opt not to give the child that option, so he could take the passenger driver test away, the AVT test away, so that they wouldn't have that option to say they were the passenger. Then every time the car is moving, they would not be allowed to text and drive.
Now, does it stop all application usage or just texting?
No, the only application it allows is an emergency number to be called, or a Bluetooth answer. So if you get a call, if you receive a call, you can answer the phone either by pressing the speakerphone button or the Bluetooth answer on your steering wheel, and you can accept the call.
Okay, so you can't just go down and make a call while you're doing it. You have to wait for calls, right?
That's correct.
But you can't, and you're not gonna, and it blocks out all the rest of the apps on your phone. So you know, like you can't be picking out one of those other ones to say, hey, well, I'm not be able to text, but I can do all these other things.
No, you can't do anything but receive a call via Bluetooth or make an emergency call.
So this geofencing it's not really a new technology, but it's kind of starting to make the forefront because of some of the risks that we've been talking about. How long has geofencing been around, and what's kind of the history of it?
The United States FCC created enhanced 911 services in 2005, and they mandated that all wireless phone carriers fit 95% of their devices with a GPS chip. That edict is what has enabled this technology and made it more affordable today.
So what if I don't want to keep my GPS on all the time, or it kills the battery? I mean, that's one of the biggest problems I have with my phone is that if I'm running the GPS, it's killing my battery, so I turn it off. How do we get around that?
Well, each application on an Android device, the way our application works, and that's the only one I can speak to because there's a few different ways to do it. You don't have to poll the GPS all the time. You could poll it every 3 seconds, every 5 seconds, so that you didn't use the battery life. And our application, when the device is in a hibernated state, it's not polling the GPS, so it's not burning any battery time. So there's a few tricks like that to save some of the battery life. But the fact is that if you're polling the GPS, you are using battery life. Now, to answer your question, the GPS on an Android device, if it's shut down the phone, our application also shuts the phone down. So we check to see if the GPS is shut down, and if it is, we shut the phone down, so you couldn't text or drive anyway.
Oh, so you need the GPS even to use your phone once this app is installed, right?
That's correct. On a BlackBerry device, if you disable the GPS, we automatically re-enable it.
So this is a lot of great stuff that you're doing, but from a business perspective, it sounds like we're saving a lot of money. But how much are we spending?
It's, our application, the list price is $5 a month. So we're trying to make it very affordable. We believe in what we're doing. We believe it not only saves lives, but it can make a positive difference on businesses and families.
Well, that seems to be a reasonable price. I mean, for $5, you can save yourself, thousands and thousands in fines and so forth. Sounds like a nice trade-off.
Well, not only the thousands and thousands in fines, but we're finding that the insurance companies are actually, the cost of insuring that vehicle or that child or that fleet goes down significantly when you shut down this risk of 23 times greater of risk in I'm stumbling if you get caught if you're texting and driving. So the insurance carriers are looking at this application at $5 a month as a no-brainer.
Well, and I think, speaking of money, we're at another great place to take a break. So why don't we go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Clay 1180.
I'm Darrel Bowman.
And I'm Mel West, and we'll be right back.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
Few things say more about your business than the quality of the photos in your ads and on your website. Corporate photographer Rick Doms specializes in custom photography for discriminating corporations around the world and right here in Tacoma. Rick's photos have graced the pages of Forbes, Fortune, Barron's, the Wall Street Journal, and the marketing materials of a host of great American companies. Companies like yours. See what Rick Doms photography can do for your business on the web at rickdoms.com. RICKDAHMS.com.
AimBiz.com brings you the life of a business website. The majority of business websites can't be found by search engines, so their owners lose customers and money. An AIM business website wins new customers on Google and Facebook. Imagine your website with great content management, an integrated blog, clean designs, and clear messages. To top it off, at AimBiz.com, you get a free website design mock-up before you ever spend a dime. For more information, go to AimBiz.com. That's AIMBIZ.com.
Economy and a safe haven for marine wildlife. The Tacoma Waterfront Association is dedicated to promoting Tacoma's waterfront. Join the TWA at its popular monthly meeting to learn more about Tacoma's waterfront and how you can be a part of making it great. Join the TWA on the second Wednesday of each month from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Center for Urban Waters to be a part of the community strength that's making a difference for Tacoma's greatest asset. It's waterfront. For more info, visit TacomaWaterfrontAssociation.org. That's TacomaWaterfrontAssociation.org.
In Pierce County, 17% of residents are food insecure. That's 1 in 6 people who are unsure where their next meal is coming from. Someone you know is going hungry. What can you do about it? Help support Fish Food Banks of Pierce County. For every dollar received, Fish's 8 food bank locations can distribute $7 worth of food to families in need. To learn more about stopping hunger here in Pierce County, go to fishfoodbanks.org. That's fishfoodbanks.org.
Welcome back to BizTechTalk. I'm Darrel Bowman, your IT professional.
And I'm Mel West, your business advisor.
Hey, don't forget, every Tuesday, noon to 1, we're here on BizTechTalk. We're listening to, join us at biztechtalk.net, listen to our shows, download our podcast, and don't forget to give us your comments and suggestions about new shows to info@biztechtalk.net. And again, we're talking with Mike Gough and Jim Jacobs from TBI, and we're also talking about geofencing. So we left off?
We were talking a little bit about price. And Jim, I think because you guys are a brokerage, you can talk a little bit more about that price and kind of what that looks like from a broader scale.
Sure, thank you. Michael did mention before the break that his product was the fee of $5 per device, and that, from a customer's perspective, that is a fantastic price. Not only, you really got to think about what you're paying for the product, right? Most other products are based off of a percentage or a rate basis per device based on the actual spend of that device's plan or contract that was signed on. So you really got to think, if we're working with 1 to 15 cell phones or tablets, take a look at the price. Take a look at what you're getting for that price. The flat rate price is a fantastic business model from a customer perspective and from a company's perspective.
Now, as a company's adding these, is there kind of an estimated percentage that they can maybe estimate in an increase if you're not looking at just a flat rate?
Well, it really depends on what's being provided, right? So if just the quote-unquote physical app is being provided to the user or the truck driver, for example, is that company that owns the application, are they doing management for it, or are they just providing the app, right? So you really got to take a look at what you're getting in terms of a percentage or an increase. Again, that really depends on what's being provided. If they're providing you with, let's just say, that device is being used and it crosses out of that geofence boundary or threshold, if you will, what are those costs or liability fines that Michael spoke about earlier? What are those going to be in the long term compared to the actual price of the application that's being provided?
So it's like your insurance, right?
Sure.
So, hey, I got a question for you real quick. We've been talking about specific applications. We touched a little bit about some types of other apps. But from your perspective, there's a lot of different things going on, mobile device management, fleet management. Tell us a little bit about those different uses and apps that are in those spaces. What are the many uses? What are they talking about? What are some interesting geofencing applications that TBI offers?
A few of them are really the trucking applications, right? If you have a commercial driver's license and you're in a trucking fleet and you're the actual driver, it can be used for really efficiencies of truck routes. It can be used if you cross out of that sales boundary. There's a few uses. Michael touched on one earlier within the schools, right? If you walk into a school, the camera device could be shut down. The texting could be shut down for if you want to protect your child from cheating in class, for example. Just a few things. And there's a lot of real-world applications that the different apps can provide. Really, all of the apps that are being provided in the marketplace now, they all have a management portal that's attached to them. So if I wanted to say between 8:30 and 5:30 every day, I want my child's camera and texting capabilities and Facebook capabilities to be turned off. But outside of, let's just say they walk out of school at 2:30 in the afternoon, for example, right? Those capabilities will be automatically turned back on you really want to look into what the management capabilities are. If you're a parent, for example.
So what's this Cohorts? It's a mobile marketing and monitoring platform. What's that all about?
I believe Michael can speak about that if he's available.
Sure. Cohorts is a mobile marketing engine that we are incorporating into some of our products. I mentioned one example earlier with the coupons when you walk into the mall. If you've liked a product or you're researching a product on Twitter, that all that information that associated with your research is public. And so if I'm looking for a particular device or a vehicle or a piece of software, I've already initiated that I'm looking for product information. The mobile marketing side of this can also send me a coupon for it automatically. I don't have to go look for a coupon. It'll automatically send it to me.
So do people sign up for this, or how are they engaged?
They're engaged by the equipment provider or the golf club manufacturer or the distributor that's selling the products. That's how they are engaged. The Cohorts product sits in the background and just captures the Twitter information and gives it to us so that we can actually send the coupon.
Interesting. Okay. So how does a company know, or how do they do they contact you, or where do they go to find out more information about this if they were looking at advertising in that fashion?
They could go to Cohorts, which is I should know it's Cohorts, KOHORTS-IT.com. Or if you wanted some information on our distracted driving app, you could send it to USA_sales with an S on the end at 10, the letter N, the number 2, TEK, tech.com.
Or for any of you, you can go to mynetworkcompany.com and we'll help you out. So we'll just put that, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. So it's been a great time. Is there one last thing? I want to make sure that there's anything left out there. We've got a few more minutes left in the show. We got to wrap up a few things and talk about what we're going to be doing next week and those kinds of things. But I want to say thank you for joining us and spending your day to help us out. And tell us, is there anything else that you might want to get out there that we haven't talked about to help educate our listeners and how they can benefit from geofencing apps, whether they're provided by you or, hey, is there someone that can develop those geofencing apps for them?
The only other thing I might add is we're running a special with TBI, so that if you send it to USA_sales at 10and2tech.com, include TBI 777, and you'll get a promotion code.
Okay.
That's our promo code.
Hey, one last thing before we jump in there and close out is, what about policies and procedures for companies? What can you tell us about some of those different policies and procedures?
That's a good point. Most of the companies have a policy or a procedure, especially if they're a fleet, because their liabilities and risks are so high. Most of the time, those policies are written down. We found that about 90% of them are. There are two places, great places to go. If your company needs a policy against texting and driving, as an example, you can go to stoptherex.org, and they have policies that you can download and implement into your own policies. And you can also go to the National Safety Board, and their website also has policies that you can download and plagiarize for your own company policy.
Fantastic. So, hey, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. We're going to have to move on right now and let you know that, we appreciate you taking the time today. And Mel and I want to thank everybody for taking their time from their busy day to join us and share and explore the fascinating worlds of business and technology every week on BizTechTalk.com. So, Tuesday noon to 1 right here on Clay 1180. And also, thank our veterans who served by seeking out their businesses and hiring them whenever a position's open with your company. Now, Mel's going to talk about next week when we are going to be talking a little bit more about assessments and job what's that?
Job benchmarking.
Benchmarking, that was the word I was looking for.
Behavior and motivator assessments with Target Training Institute. But, first I want to thank Michael and Jim for joining us. Michael Gough from 10 and 2 and Jib Jacobs from TBI. It's interesting, and thank you again for joining us on BizTechTalk. Next week, we're going to be joined by Favor Larson from Target Training Institute out of Arizona, and we're going to be talking about the use of DISC assessments and behavior motivators and helping
how to make you more productive.
Help yourself and your employees be more productive, but it's really focused on communication, understanding how you communicate to others and what's your preferred style, but also what is the preferred style of the people that you're talking to. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So it should be another great show, more on the business side, talk a little bit about human resources and so forth. So
yeah, I think that should be a really exciting show because, everybody has communication problems no matter what the whether you're from you're top down or bottom up. It doesn't really matter. There's communication, it can be improved, and that can be also between you and your clients as well. So anytime you can improve your communication, you're going to make your company better. So it's going to be really exciting to understand more about job benchmarking and what you can do to help that out. We also want to make sure, again, and I can't stress this enough, that you can go to the Department of Veterans Affairs of the state of Washington, look on their website, and seek out the veteran-owned businesses out there to do business with those people.
Well, and also thank our veterans. And if you have an opportunity to purchase a red poppy and wear it on Memorial Day, please do that so you can recognize
this weekend is an awesome weekend.
That sacrificed their lives for you and me.
Okay. Thanks again for joining us on Clay 1180.
I'm Mel West.
And I'm Darrel
Business
Bowman.
Fires.
And I'm Darrel Bowman. Sorry, buddy. So join us next week.
CloudSway removes the hassle of small business financial management. Easily upload receipts, bills, invoices, POs, and other business expenses through your mobile device, email, or scanner. CloudSway automatically scans your data and matches each transaction to your bank and credit cards. Invite staff to send their corporate receipts, allowing the team to contribute and collaborate, managing all company financial data in one location. CloudSway's reports and alerts help to guard against fraud and expense abuse. CloudSway makes it easy to protect your company's most prized possession, its financial security. Visit cloudsway.com.
Hi, Georgia. I heard the pipes burst in your office and you have to rebuild everything. Are you able to take care of business?
Bob, the flood was a minor hiccup. We are rebuilding, but thanks to our partnership with MyNetworkCompany.com and their office in an Icon Cloud solution, we work from anywhere at any time. With access to all of our applications and customer data, I never have to worry about expensive backups, hardware, or complicated servers. We are more productive now than ever. Plus, we turned our capital IT purchases into monthly operating expenses with a worry-free IT guarantee in the process. I recommend you call MyNetworkCompany.com today.
In today's economy, doing more with less has become the standard. Feeling overwhelmed or out of control does not have to be part of that standard. If you are looking for improved profitability and better teamwork, West Business Concepts' expertise in sales, organizational development, and finance offers real-world solutions today. West Business Concepts helps you develop clarity and focus on who matters most. Gain an edge over your competition. Visit westbusinessconcepts.com today. That's westbusinessconcepts.com.